Welcome back to part 2 of our posture series. We can't have a conversation about posture without talking about the 4 core muscles, but most people know about 3 of those deep core muscles, but they often ignore the 4th one because they don't realize that plays a role, or they forget about it. They've heard it and they forget about it. So we want to talk about that one a little bit today. Hi, I'm Dr. John Gray. We're here with you with our posture series for the month of May, and we're going to talk about the posture muscles that are deep in the system. Now there's 4 of them, and most people in order, if we go through these, everybody thinks about this one, which is number 1, which is the pelvic floor. And if we look at this, this is your front. I know my drawing is really good. This is your belly button, and this is your backside here, and this is your spinal column, and then this is your tailbone down here. So off of this and into your pubic bone, we have the pelvic floor. People, we have a lot of great exercises for those, and we encourage that all the time and part of what we do. The second one we always, usually most people focus on is the transverse abdominis. And we have 4 of them here. So that's these muscles that come off the spine at an angle, come around the side. And then we have, anybody can guess what number 3 is? Multifidus. Those are the muscles deep in our spinous on the back side. Those are things that kind of raise us back up. And the 4th one, has anybody guessed it yet? What the 4th one is? The 4th one is what we're going to talk about today, and that's the diaphragm. The diaphragm actually hooks in and hooks into these guys here in the front and interplays with our other core muscles. In other words, if you contract one, it helps the other ones contract, because the thinking here is when a muscle's on stretch, it'll contract harder. And you can assist those other muscles, especially some of the transverse via the rectus, to contract harder when you use that diaphragm, but it's also a stabilizer. So how do you do that? Well, one thing you do is you kind of breathe through your belly. Okay, so when you're exercising, you can get those big breaths into the chest, and that's not really activating our core. We want the breaths that make the belly, you can't see me on this picture here, but you want your belly to go out. Okay, so if you're doing a pelvic tilt, for example, like we show people how to do here in the office, one thing you would do is you would sit on that ball and you would arch the back, deep breath, really expand it, let that belly round out, and then you would contract, bring the belly in as you do the pelvic tilt. And that's how you would activate the the diaphragm. And so that's one way, that's our tip for the day, is you want to activate that diaphragm when you're doing your core workouts. And you think of it that way, as the belly going out and the belly coming in as you're doing your exercise. And just find a way that complements your movement. In other words, like if you're doing a pelvic tilt, you're going to go out with the back, your belly can fill up easily. That's the natural way to have it fill up. And then that's dropping the diaphragm down, and then you're going to contract that up and in as you draw your pelvis in. And if you're doing crunches, same way, as you're crunching up, breathe in, hunch that up, expand the belly as you let out, and then back in. And that's going to help you get more out of your workouts, get better stabilization. It's also something you can do, by the way, when you're just standing in line at the shopping market or wherever you happen to be at when you're or standing at your desk. If you're taking a break, stand up and then breathe in and breathe through your stomach. Kind of relax your low back, let the belly out, and then bring that all the way up and in. I hope this tip helps. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe and share it with us. And if you have any more questions, please send those to us, and we'll make sure we address those.